I worked for Don Wilcox at Work Study starting in 1971, his first year and my first year. I remember being very upset that women were not allowed in marching band because we'd done it in high school, so what is the problem? Then somebody said I made a petition. I don't remember that. However, I was very adamant about doing it. In 1972, at the end of the year, I went into work and Mr. Wilcox said, "Women are in the band, go out and sign up on this book that was sitting out in the lobby at the Creative Arts Center." So I went in and there was a girl that had signed first, which made me a little upset. I wanted to be first. So I signed second. I believe she did not show up at band camp, so I always felt like I was the first one to sign up. There were a few guys that felt like women couldn't handle the physical rigor of marching band at WVU. Not very many that I felt like, but I remember feeling confident and happy and thrilled to be part of it, even at that first day of band camp. Was it difficult? Sure. It was physical, and that was okay. And after a while, I think it was maybe 2 days before those guys that had a problem with us coming in realized that it wasn't going to be an issue. So then we had hazing, which was interesting. They don't do that anymore, and I'm kind of glad, because sticking your hands in a bowl of peeled grapes is kind of stupid. But anyway, it was part of the fun. So we had a great time. Running out of the tunnel the first time. I remember these guys that were older guys came to us and said, "Okay, now you have to get psyched up." We were in the tunnel. We're like, "What are you talking about, psyched up to go running outside? We've done this a million times in rehearsal and practice, and it can't be that big of a deal. It can't be much different." And they said, "Oh yeah, it's a lot different because the temperature's going to change by about 40, 50 degrees. It'd be 64 or so in the tunnel. And then it would be about 104 on the turf if it was a bright sunny day, especially early in the season. And then you had like 35,000 people screaming and yelling because they were thrilled to see us running out of there. And you kind of get startled, but it was great. And after a while, you just look forward to that feeling of running out on the field, being a part of this awesome band. Parades with WVU band were always fun. In high school, we did all these little festivals that are all across West Virginia and marched in the parades, and it was a lot of fun. But as the WVU band, the people were kind of used to the smaller high school bands, and they would get right up and next to us to hear us play. They'd say, "Oh, we want to play," and we tell them, "No, you really want to stand back." And they go, "Oh, no, we really, really want to hear you play." Then we'd start to play, and they were shocked. The looks on their faces were amazing, and it was a lot of fun. We always got a lot of support, and I'm sure we recruited some high school kids to come and play at WVU, and I hope they loved it as much as I did. That year we went to the Peach Bowl in Atlanta, and that was very interesting. The football team got to go in one fell swoop. We had to, in a jet, we had to go from the airport in this Piedmont airline thing that seemed kind of rattle-trap in 3 phases, and Mr. Wilcox went first. I believe I was on the first phase of getting everybody there, and as soon as we got there, we started practicing because we hadn't been on the field for a little while, and that was funny. Then at night, we went. The only time we had off was at night, so we went down to Underground Atlanta, and we're wandering around, and here's some of the football players, and they were supposed to be in bed. They had curfew, but they had snuck out. So we told them if they lost the game, because they had stayed up, we were going to declare National Spit on a Football Player Day when we got back. And the half, we were winning 14-0, and the final score was 41-14 for the other team. So when we'd run into them when we got back to WVU, I remember giving them a stern look and said, "No, I'm not going to spit on you." January, the governor called, and Mr. Wilcox, we came into work. Mr. Wilcox said, "We got to get the uniforms back out. The governor wants us in his inaugural parade in Charleston." So we marched in the snow. It was snow, sleet. It was yucky weather. It was freezing cold, but it was an honor to know that the governor wanted us there. I believe that was Jay Rockefeller, I'm not sure. But we marched in that parade, even though it was miserable. The camaraderie of being in the WVU Marching Band, at that time it wasn't called the Pride. I remember probably the first time it was called the Pride of West Virginia was during that Peach Bowl game by the announcer. And it certainly was pride. I still have pride for the fact that I was one of the first women, kind of a pioneer. You got to remember 1972, women couldn't even have their own credit card. So there was a lot of movement towards women's rights at that time. And I'm very proud to have been part of that movement and very proud of the band. Even yet, I love to see them. Thank you very much for this opportunity.